Welcome back, you're watching the Evil X channel. Today we're gonna install a Maxton design front lip on the A90 Supra. If you like Toyota Supra content or WRX content, when you get done watching this video, browse through the other videos on my channel, see if any of those interest you, and consider subscribing. It really helps out the small YouTuber. Thanks for being here. Here's the Maxton design front lip. This is a V1. So I like it's got these larger kind of winglets that stick out. So let's take a closer look at this. So it does have a plastic film on that. We'll peel it off. And let's start looking at our mounting locations. It looks like we have 9 of these that need to be drilled out. So on the back side, so for each one of these, it does have a little dimple where you need to drill. So that one doesn't look completely centered. I might just kind of eyeball it to get it more centered. That one looks okay. So I'll probably start with a smaller bit. Then it calls for a 6mm. That's about a 1/4 inch, and we'll finish drilling the rest of those out. So we got those 9 locations. It also called for a self-tapper on the ends. I'm probably not gonna do that. I would rather not self-tap into the car. I will get some 3M tape, like the inch-wide stuff, and go all the way across. So we just wanna make sure it's stuck down well on these edges. Then we'll have those 9 bolt locations. As far as included hardware, it comes with 16 bolts. They have that hex pattern, 16 nuts, 16 washers. I'm only gonna use 9 locations as far as I can tell on this lip, so we're gonna have plenty of extra. Now, the instructions that I had seen, or other people mentioned, that it called for 2 self-tappers on the end of the lip on each side. This doesn't include any self-tappers. That's okay, because I'm not gonna use them anyway. We're gonna use the 3M tape. Here's the instructions it's included. This is kind of a generic instruction across their product line for different vehicles. It doesn't tell you a whole lot. On the back it says, make sure you're fit properly, sitting tight against your bumper cover. If not, it's gonna fall out. So glue it on. Again, we're gonna use that 3M tape to stick it on there tightly. So I'm going to start with a much smaller hole, just get a pilot hole in each one of those locations, then we can step up to that 1/4 inch bit. Now we'll step up to the 1/4 inch. Those came out pretty clean. So you're looking at about that size. Oh, FedEx just dropped something else off. Let's see what we got. Sweet, got my trunk cover. I wanted this just because it had the logo on it, let's be honest. I was wondering if these came on the 2021 models or 2022 or above, because mine is a 2020. Apparently it's just a separate option. So I found a Toyota parts dealer, ordered one of these because I wanted that extra carpet protection and that sweet logo. Looks pretty nice. Here's my speaker ports for the subwoofer. That was a fun project and they sound quite a bit better. If you're interested in that video, I'll put a link up here. Nice. We have the car up on these low profile ramps. These are some Cuscos. What's neat is they are removable from this portion so we can get to our jack stand location. So down here, these have the rectangular BMW style jack stand location. And for the jack stands, these are the jack stand adapters. I have a video explaining those. If you're interested, I'll put a link below. That way we are meeting that jack point and not damaging that jack point by having this adapter on our traditional 2-ton jack stand. So now that we have it up a little bit, we can jack it up some more. With this jack, I got a jack pad so it doesn't damage the undersurface of the car. So there's a circular portion denoting where that jack point is. I can show you. Then we can get this up a little bit higher with our jack stands underneath. Under the vehicle, if you can see back here, so this circular portion is where you will put your jack. So in the center section, you do have 3 threaded bolt locations, and that is a T30. So I have those loosened up so we can easily thread in the first part of our lip. Then we got 3 pop clips on either side. So that's our 9 locations to begin with. These are just short little guys. Then there's these 10 of these little 8mm holding on this splash guard. So we want to release that. So we'll get all 10 of those off all the way across, because we're gonna have to reach behind here to get our washer and nut on to attach up to those locations. Further back for the splash guards, there are several more locations. So I believe this is gonna come out in 3 separate pieces. We'll have this piece here, the center piece, and a matching piece on the other side. So you're also gonna have locations on the corner up here, which is the same 8mm screw down there. Here, 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 here. Then one on that end as well. So you'll see them, it shouldn't be too hard. Underneath, we also had some screw locations there, no problem. So this comes off in 3 pieces. Here's one side, there's the middle. Just get the other side. We'll also clean up the lip with rubbing alcohol. So when we put the 3M tape on, it'll adhere nice for us. So we'll test fit this thing in here before we put on the 3M tape. Just make sure it lines up well and I have the tape where I want it. On these bolts, they are gonna be a 4mm Allen key. So those 3 are gonna be threaded on the vehicle. So I can just screw those in easily to give it a test fit. On the front, we have those 3 that are threaded, just put in for the test fit. Looks like it's gonna work pretty well. So we'll get our tape all the way across, but especially on these portions, so it meets up well there. But yeah, the fit looks really good. All the contact surfaces have been wiped down with rubbing alcohol. So I'm gonna do a strip of tape under this lip all the way across, but also there's contact points on this ridge as well. So I'll trim some tape to fit along this corner. Tape on this edge here, because this is a contact point. Then you can feel where the lip starts to come down to a flatter surface. So at the bottom of that ridge is where you want your tape line. So I have peeled back the adhesive strips on this side so I can get to them once it is sandwiched together. I don't want to lose that tab in between or anything. So I have painter's tape there. Then again, just kind of fill along that lip, and at the base of that ridge there, just go all the way across. Then we will loosely start bolting this up. On the inside where the splash panels will be, we'll have to reach our hand up under the bumper cover and feel where the washer and the nut goes on. Then once we have it loosely fit with the screws, then we can start pressing it down with the adhesive pull-outer strips. One of the main reasons I wanted this one is because it was specified as fitting to the factory location. So these were all pop hole locations or bolt locations. So if you don't want to tap on the edges, this will all use factory locations without putting any holes in your bumper. The 3 threaded locations in the center are super easy to get on. Those are loosely on, so we got a little play. Now, once you get beyond that, see this one here and how much length there is. So you're trying to get back up in there. So you have to feel back in here to get a little teeny nut on this. I found that really hard, especially on this one, just because of the distance and the amount of length. You had to reach your hand back there because you're trying to get just a little teeny nut. So they do have the washer, and the washer is supposed to go back there, but you're gonna have a really hard time reaching this all the way back up, getting it to line up, squishing the bumper and the lip together, and getting the nut. So if you just are able to get the nut without the washer, you're probably gonna be all right. It'll be a little bit easier without the washer. On the other locations that aren't as hard, you can put the washer in. In each location, reach a spanner wrench up there. That's a 10 millimeter. Then you have a 4 millimeter Allen key that goes in the bottom. Then cinch those up. Got all the bolts tightened up and got the 3M to it here, especially on the corners. I held it for about a minute with some moderate pressure, making sure it is sticking, especially in this region here. But these Maxtons are 3D scanned for fitment, and it looks pretty great to me. We'll get the under panels put back on, get the car put back down, look at it in the sunlight. Getting those screws and the nuts in between, you need your mechanic skills for those for sure. That was pretty rough, but the fitment looks great. That fitment is great. These are 3D scanned to fit pretty much perfectly. So the goal was to not use any self-tappers on the end and use factory bolt hole locations. Mission accomplished. I think that looks fantastic. A lot more aggressive, I think, with this V1 and the larger winglet sections. Freaking dope. Extra bit of spicy for this thing. Comment below, tell me what you think. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I hope it was helpful for someone out there. Did you know that like over 90% of my views are from people that aren't subscribed? What are you waiting for? You like Supra content? Hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to the small YouTuber. We really appreciate you being here. Until next time, I'm